Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the session. And today's topic is roadmap to Azure Data Engineer. And we have Deeksha, who's data engineer, with us, and she'll be letting us know how to prepare for it and what kind of things you should be doing before the interviews and all. So let's hear from her. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Suraj. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session. Good morning, good evening. So let me know once my screen is visible so we can get started.
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, so I guess we can get started. Yeah, so hello, everyone. Welcome to the session of Roadmap for Data Engineering side. And myself, Diksha Sharma, and I am Microsoft certified trainer and senior consultant on a cloud architecture side under data engineering domain. And I have done like couple of certification on Azure. I am certified data engineer, certified DevOps engineer, and certified Azure solution architect and database admin side. And my key skills are majorly on data engineering side, ETL, ELT stuff, and SQL, Databricks, big data, and other services. And if we talk about on this session, we are going to talk about different Azure data engineering role side. Okay, what is roles and responsibilities we have as a Azure data engineer? What are the best practices you should follow for your exam and interview if you are planning for Microsoft certification for data engineering role? What is a roadmap for data engineering? How you can prepare for certificate? How you can prepare for your interview? What are the key topics you can cover before the interview? What are some basics and key points you should always focus on and you should always remember? And some common question that generally will ask maybe in your interview or in your exam that we are going to discuss. And at the end, I'm going to share some links and preparation resources also with you. So in that case, you can go through and from Microsoft official side, and as per that, you can start your journey for Azure data engineering role. So now let's get started. So when we are planning for Azure side, we have a four different kind of interview categorization. So like first one is your basic when you are starting with a fundamental. So in my last session, we talk about the basic Azure interview question, where on the fundamental side, we talk about like if you're completely new to Azure or in the cloud technology and you are planning to build your career or you are planning to start your career. So in that case, we already had a one session on that. So you guys can check on that. So like the basic part we have talked about. Then now in this session, we are going to focus on the intermediate level. What kind of interview question will ask? And here majorly it will be focused on as per your role. So here we are going to talk about Azure data engineering role. So what kind of question they might ask, like if you have an intermediate level of knowledge. Then the third type is where advanced level of question, like as per the advanced features and some properties, and apart from that, some project level, okay, or in-house project. So on that basis, some advanced level of question. Or at the end, we have a scenario-based question where interviewer might be giving you some scenario. As per that, you need to plan, and then you need to give the solution. Like it could be in different ways. Like it could be on Azure services, it could be a project perspective, it could be your existing role perspective. So different scenario or use cases they will share, and accordingly you are going to be provide the solution. So these are four different category wise. If you are planning on Azure interview, so there are four different categories where mostly your questions will be based on. So the first category we already talked about in our last session, and now today we are going to focus on these remaining one, where how you can prepare for like a data engineering side from intermediate to advanced level, and some scenario based question. So the first of all, let's understand like if you talk about on the data part. So people might be asking, okay, in the data analyst side, or as a data engineer side, or as a data scientist side. So if you are working to data domain, so there are different roles and different jobs options available. Data analysts, they are also going to work with data engineer also, and data scientist also. Generally, people are aware, okay, the persons are software engineer, others thing, but within that, if you see their profiles has been categorized as per the different domain. So in the data side, we have a three major domain on that we are going to majorly focus. So data analyst, who is going to analyze your data and showcase your data in the form of dashboard and report. Data engineer is going to play a key role over here, who is going to collect the data, and then data engineer is going to provide the data to a data analyst or to a data scientist. So data scientist is basically going to analyze your existing data, and as per that they are going to do the prediction, and on that they are going to work on the statistics side, and they are going to form work on the upcoming features or upcoming prediction they are going to do forecasting. So here data engineer is going to play a key role, because data engineer is a person who is going to provide these data to data analyst and to data scientist. Because here data analyst can only make a report if they have the data, and from where this data will come. Here for that, everything is going to be take care as a data engineer. Data scientist can predict the data, can forecast the data, but from where this data will come. In that case, your data engineer will play a key role. So let's understand, data engineer is going to build, optimize your system, and as per that, you are going to do the different analysis and everything. So the first of all here, as a data engineer, if you are planning, you should be aware about your roles, responsibilities, and what are your working area. So the first thing is, in the data engineer side, you are going to work on the ETL or ELT stuff. ETL stands for extraction transformation load. ELT stands for extraction load and transformation. So as a data engineer, we are going to be focused first on the ETL or ELT side, where you are going to ingest your data from different location and onboard it into a centralized place. And after that, some transformation may needed, some data modeling, some data architecturing, okay, these things. And then after that, you should be good to have a like a SQL knowledge, you should have a Python knowledge, okay, and you should have a big data knowledge. So that will be like an add-on in your profile. So as a data engineer, you are responsible for providing, for managing, for architecturing your data. Then once data engineer will provide the data, then after that we have a data analyst. Data analyst will collect this data, then they are going to analyze the data and create a report and dashboard on that. They might be using different visualization tool for that, like Power BI or ClickView, ClickSense, Tableau, Looker. So in the market, there are a couple of different visualization tools available. So here you should be going to use the data which is provided by data engineer. And then as per that, as a data analyst, you are going to make a report dashboard, okay, and to showcase to your client, because your end client may not be a technical guy. So if you show the data in the form of Excel, they might not be able to understand. So here we are going to create some meaningful dashboard report on that. So in that case, your client will be able to understand. And then we have a data scientist. So here, data scientist is going to understand the business problem. They are going to predict your data. They are going to forecast your data. Okay. So I will take one example over here. For example, I'm getting some sales data. Okay, like my company build 2 million sale. Okay, my company has 2 million sale over this quarter, or maybe over this financial year. So in that case, data engineer is going to collect this data from different sources, from different location, and then data engineer is going to provide this data to data analyst. But here, when your data is in the tabular format, it's in Excel or it's in databases. So here you need to run every time a query, and you are going to display this to your client. So in that case, your client is going to be look into the tabular format. So in that case, it will be not a very much interactive format. So here data analyst with will connect with your data sources, like your tables or anything wherever you have stored the data, and then data analyst will create a dashboard and report on them. And your data analyst friend is going to show you that, okay, hey, this financial year we have done this much sale, and this much is revenue, this much is like a profit we have, this much loss we have, everything in the form of dashboard or chart. And now next is your data scientist. So your data scientist is going to take care the data which you have. As per that, they are going to plan, okay, for this financial year we have a 2 million sale. So in that, your data scientist is going to do the forecasting or going to predict, like, what are the strategy we will follow. So in that case, in the upcoming year, how much sales we can increase. Like this financial year, it will be 2 million, but maybe in the upcoming financial year, it will be 5 million. So they are going to predict, or they are going to forecast your data as per the existing data analysis. So as per these different three roles, we have different technology on that you are going to be work. So as a data scientist, you should be aware about machine learning. You should be aware about NLP, regressions modeling, and your SQL. Yes, okay. No matter you are working for with any data professional, SQL is a key language we should know. SQL, Python, R, and Scala, NLP, machine learning. Okay, so these things are basically will be needed if you are working as a data scientist. If you are working as a data engineer, so in that case, the best thing for you to understand the SQL, that is always base, then Python and Hadoop, big data, and Spark side, okay, big data side, and then non-relational data side if you have. So these are some technology you should be aware. Then as a data analyst, you should be aware about the SQL, that will be basic side, and then any visualization tool. Like as I mentioned, there are multiple visualization tools are available in the market, like Power BI, Tableau, ClickView, ClickSense, Looker, and Excel. Okay, so in that case, with the help of this tool, you can make your report. So we have understand about these three different roles which we have available. Now we are going to more focus on the data engineering side. That is our agenda for today. So once we understand about our role, like as a data engineer, we are responsible for providing the data to data scientists, to data analysts, and to your client. So in that case, we are going to see what are the key different services that you should learn. It might be useful for your exam as well as for your interview too. So if you are planning for Microsoft Certified Data Engineering exam, that is your DP 203. So in that case also questions will come on these services. So these are some popular services that you should know if you are working and you are planning to work on data engineering side. So the first is your Azure storage. Okay, so as we know that we are going to work on data side, so where the data is going to be stored. So in that case, we have a storage services available on Azure that has been categorized. So we have Azure Blob Storage, we have Azure Tables, we have Azure File Storage, we have Azure Queue Storage, we have Azure Data Lake Storage, and then we have Azure Disk Storage. So we need to understand in what scenario you are going to use these different type of storage. Because storage is a place where you are going to put your data in the raw format from wherever it is coming up. Maybe I'm getting my data from 10 different location or 5 different location. So it's not like at the end the data I'm going to store into a database. First, I need to put my data in a storage where I'm going to do some changes and I'm going to make it compatible as per my destination. So in that case, your storage will come in the picture where we need to understand in what scenario, what type of storage you are going to use. Then after the storage, next is your databases. What type of databases you are going to use. So it depends what type of data you have. What is the volume of your data? What is the nature of your data? As per that, you are going to plan what type of databases you need. If you have a like a normal volume of data and structured data, relational data, you can go with the SQL databases. That is also further categorized into three parts: SQL on VM, managed instance, and singleton databases. Or you can go with MySQL DB. You can go with a PostgreSQL. And if you have a large volume of data, terabyte or huge amount of data you have, big data you have, and you want a data warehouse flexibility, you can go with Synapse dedicated pool, where you can store your data in the data warehouse. Then you have analysis services also available that you can use for analysis purpose. And if your data is coming up in a semi-structured format or non-relational data, then you are going to use Cosmos DB on Azure. That is another service. So it's depend what type of data you have. If it is a relational data or SQL data, you can use Azure SQL or Synapse SQL. But if you have a non-relational data, no SQL data, you are going to use Cosmos database. And if you need big data support, then in that case, you are going to use Azure Data Lake Storage. Then same for the ETL stuff side. Okay, like we need to do a data ingestion. So for this ETL stuff side, we have Data Factory available, where we are going to do the data ingestion from different location, from different sources. Okay, so Data Factory is the ETL tool that we have available on Azure, which will help you to do the data ingestion from 200 plus different locations. Okay, it has a 90 plus different data stores available. It could be available on Azure. It might happen that your data is available on Azure or maybe outside Azure. It could be on premises. But with the help of Data Factory, you can onboard your data from different locations. Then we have Azure functions that we can use for triggering and for automation side. Okay. Then we have a logic app also available. Then if you have a large like a streaming data available. So for the streaming data, we can take care with the help of stream analytics job. Real-time data we can take care with the help of stream analytics job. Then same for the streaming data, we have IoT Hub and Event Hub. So these are some common services we generally use. Apart from that, we have a Databricks available that is also on Azure platform that supports Spark runtime. Okay, and if you are interested on some open source tool also, then you can learn about the Apache Spark, Hadoop, and Hive. But on Azure also, we have Azure Databricks available. Then on the Azure Databricks side, that is also supports Spark runtime as I mentioned, where you are going to use a PySpark or other languages like Scala and R or Python. So these are common services that we should generally use when we are going to be work as a data engineer. And in your exam or in your interview, your question will be surrounded on these services only. Majorly about these services they are going to ask. Apart from that, some security related thing like how you are going to store the credentials and everything. So for that, you are going to use Key Vault. And apart from that, some DevOps related, how you are going to move your existing code to the higher environment. So these type of some different questions also related to your DevOps and some security related things. But majorly as a data engineer, you are going to be work on these services that will be commonly used. So here, when you are planning, you can go through on that. Okay, and you will start with the basic. So let's understand the services which we have talked about over here, where and exactly how we are going to use them. So this is a high level architectural diagram. Okay, so it is going to be changed every time as per the requirement. It is just a high level architectural diagram. So we have talked about couple of different services over here. So in what scenario, which services you are going to use? So when you are working in a project, okay, so at that time you could have different scenario. So as a data engineer, you need to understand, okay, in what scenario, which services you are going to use. Okay, so here, this is in this architectural diagram, you can see when we are planning the whole project. So our end goal is to make store your data in the databases or maybe provide your data to the data analyst friend. So in that case, Here you are going to provide at the end your data to your data analyst or maybe creating some dashboard or report. But before that, you need to first pick up your data on Azure environment. You need to do the data ingestion, ETL. So if you see, these are my sources. Okay, in these side, these are my sources where maybe your data is coming up in unstructured format, or maybe you have a data with that is your semi-structure or structure format. So as per that, you might be getting data from different location. Okay, it could be your tabular data, it could be structured data, it could be files. Okay, it could be semi-structured data, it could be unstructured data. So we have majorly three different type of data available: structure, semi-structure, and unstructured. As per that, we have different sources might be available. Like for example, you are getting data from within Azure, or maybe you are getting data from some other cloud as well, like AWS or GCP. Your data is available maybe in the S3 bucket on AWS, okay, or maybe in the cloud storage on GCP, or maybe your data is available in the SFTP or FTP, or in some API or in the SharePoint, some other places, or some on-prem SQL server. So it depends from where your data is coming up. So as per that, you are going to do data ingestion with the help of Data Factory. That is your first step. So it's like with the help of Data Factory, we are going to onboard everything in our location. Okay. So now on the Azure environment, first thing you are going to do data ingestion with the help of Data Factory. And Data Factory is going to take the data from different platform. Data Factory does not hold any data. It is just going to store your data in the data lake. You can use blob storage or different type of storage that we have talked about in the previous slide. But here only one type of storage I have mentioned, but you could use different type of storage. It depends what type of data you are getting. So here Data Factory as does not hold any data. It will pick up your data from different location, and then after that it is going to be stored in the data lake. So data lake is a centralized location where all the data from different location is going to be stored in one single platform. It could be coming up in any native format, in any raw format. We are going to process it, okay, and store it into the data lake storage generation too. So here, once you store your data, now you are on the Azure environment. You have more privileges, you have more access, you have less security compared to different environment. So here now, once your data reach to this platform on Azure, then after that, it's up to you what type of transformation you need, what type of changes you need. Okay, so in that case, we are going to do some training on data. We are going to preparation on our data. So we can use a Databricks that will support Spark and Scala, Python, okay, are different languages. So here with the help of Databricks, we are going to see that what are the transformation you need. Okay, changes, modification, training your data, preparing your data, cleansing your data, all the things you can perform in Databricks. So you can do some transformation with the help of Data Factory as well, but it depends again what is your scenario use case as per that you are going to use. So with the help of Databricks, we are going to do data cleansing, data preparation, data training, and then after that, at the end, we are going to store your data either in data warehouse or SQL DB. Any one of them you can choose. You can choose data warehouse if the volume of data is huge. If the volume of data is less, you can go with the SQL as well, SQL database as well. So here you need to plan accordingly. These services are going to be vary. And as a data engineer, you should be know you should have good idea. Okay, in what scenario, what type of services you are going to use. So Azure SQL data warehouse, okay, if the data volume is huge, you are going to be store your data in the SQL data warehouse, or it could be in the SQL DB. And after that, you can connect your databases or data warehouse with Azure analysis services, okay, for analyzing your data. Then after that, at the end, you are going to be connect with the Power BI. Now your data analyst friend will come over here. Your data analyst friend will connect with your databases where you have stored your data. And then after that, they are going to create a dashboard and report with the help of Power BI. And same your data scientist guy is also going to be connect, okay, and make a ML machine learning model, okay, or do a AI experiment on that. Okay, ML experiment they are going to do. So that will be your later on stage, because till this point, your data engineer is going to do the complete the task. Your data engineer is going to complete the task till this point. And here your data engineer is responsible for providing your data to your data analyst and to your data engineer. So that's why data engineer has a key role and currently coming up in the market. And Here this is a like a high level architecture. Obviously these services and these dependency are going to be changed as per the use case, as per the requirement. So if you see, if you are planning to start, okay, what are the base point, what are the technical points you have, you on that you are going to be focused. The first thing is like if you are completely new on data side, then you should know, need to understand what is data, what is big data, okay, what are the different components and services are available. So you can start with the SQL, where you are going to be focused on building your base. You can start with SQL, Python, R, Scala, any language you can choose. On that you are comfortable, but would I would recommend that you can go with the SQL. That will be as your base. Then after that, any coding language like Python, Scala, you can. Then after that, once you are good, okay, start doing hands-on as well. As much hands-on you are going to do, as much expertise, as much knowledge you will get. Because simply if you are going to be read something, if you are not applying, you are not doing hands-on, then in that case you might not be able to give, or you might not be able to answer the questions that is going to be asked in the interview. Because interview might be asking you some scenario based questions, so it might happen in your hands-on you have performed something. So as much as hands-on you can do, you can build your own project, and as per that you can plan. You can learn about the data warehousing and about your ETL pipeline, okay, how this ETL pipelines or ELT pipelines are available. In the market, there are a couple of different ETL tools also available. Like on Azure, we have Azure Data Factory. Same on AWS, you have AWS Glue. You have a GCP, on that you have a Data Fusion. And then after that, you have a Airflow. You have a Talent, you have Informatica, a couple of different ETL tools available. So you need to understand why we are designing the pipeline inside that. What is data warehousing concept? What is databases concept? What is modeling, data modeling? Then after that, we are going to be work on the fundamentals on the Azure side. Then you will see, okay, as a fundamental side, okay, what are the different Azure services? Just now, which we have talked about. What are the services which we have? Okay, and the differences on that. And you will be focused on the different services, and then you can prepare parallelly for your interviews as well. So your interviewer is going to be asked relatively to the questions on the services and related to your projects on the hands-on side. So this is like a for technical point side. But these are some key points also that I have discussed in my last session as well. So in the key point, like whatever, like whenever you are preparing for any interview, so the best thing is like here, it might happen that your interviewer is asking for something and you might not know correctly. So in that case here, if you don't know, then simply say, okay, I don't know on that. But yeah, after the interview, prepare on that. We go through and check for that. Okay, what will be the answer that has been asked? Because it might happen that in the next interview also people is going to be asked. So in that case, if you stuck somewhere or you are not able to answer something, so then again correct yourself. Okay, after interview, do go and see the answer which you have given. So that will be like in the next time when you are going to be sit in the exam. So that will be like add on because you already go through the questions. Do not deflect. That will be again the same thing. Know your role. Where you should be aware about your JD. Okay, for which role, okay, for which job you are applying. Okay, so in the JD, mostly time it's mentioned, okay, what are the services they are going to be asked. Okay, the main role, okay, on or main service they are looking for. It might happen that you are sitting up on the data engineering side, but they are looking for a specific on a PySpark side. Okay, so in that case, you should be know in what technology or which services they are looking for. Okay, what is the requirement of this role? And then as per that, improve and learn your resume. So whatever things you have mentioned in your resume, obviously your interviewer at the end is going to be asked from your resume itself. Okay, like for example, you have written four languages: Scala, Python, R, SQL, and at the end your interviewer say, okay, hey, you know four languages, and when they started asking you questions on the Scala, but at the end you don't know clear about anything about Scala. So in that case, it will make difficult for you. So you can mention only those things which you are aware, and always improve and learn from your resume, whatever you have mentioned. You should be aware about other cloud services also, like some basic, like okay, in the Azure it is in the market. Same, you have AWS also in the market. Okay, you have GCP also available in the market. You have a Salesforce cloud also available. So you should be know like some basic idea, not a very high level, because here we are going to be major focus on Azure data services. Then you should be confident if you are giving the interview. So in that case, it will be also giving a plus point that whatever answer you are giving or providing, and you are confident enough to answer. Be happy to take the rejection. So that will be a lesson for you that okay, you are going to become more preparation for the next time. So in that case, here you are not going to be whatever they have asked okay in the question. So you have a, some set of list of questions available. So you are going to prepare for that. You are going to come again, and then you are going to apply. So be prepared for the rejection and happy to take the feedback as well. At the end of the interview, always your interviewer will ask, okay, is there anything that you want me to share with you, or is any question for your side? So in that case, you can simply ask, okay, what is your what is my feedback, or maybe what are the roles and responsibility of side, okay, as a candidate, what you are looking for, okay, as an organization level. So it's should be happily take the feedback, okay, some genuine feedback, and what are the key responsibilities they are looking as a candidate. So when you ask from your interviewer side, okay, what are the key responsibilities they are looking for, so you get to know okay how and where you are lagging. You are flexible to learn, okay, so it's not like yes, I started on the Azure and I'm going with the Azure only, and I'm looking for those project and for those company only where Azure data engineer profile is available. It might happen that okay, on Azure they might be using some other services. Okay, so you always flexible to learn. It's not like I only know 4 services on Azure and I'm going to use that. On Azure you have a 200 plus services available. So in that case, it, as I mentioned that again, as per the use case, as per the scenario, these services are going to be vary. So always flexible to learn. If you are on Azure and you are working on the data side, you can move into data analyst, you can move into data scientist, you can move into data engineering, or you can move into big data side also. So you will be always flexible to learn whatever things are coming up. Then you are going to do practice as much as I can, as you can. Like as I mentioned that how many hands-on you are going to do, as much expertise you will get. So when in the interview you are going to be asked, you will be more confident and you have a more ground knowledge so that you can share. So as much as practice you can do on that. Yeah. So now let's talk about the certificate side. Okay. So if you are planning for your Microsoft certification for data engineering path, then in that case you can go for this DP203. Okay, so already we talked about the AZ900 in our previous session, but here we are going to be focused on the DP203. So if you are planning for data engineering certification, a professional level, you can go for DP203 exam from Microsoft side, where you can see, okay, mostly questions, the services which we have talked about earlier, on that it will come. And once you clear this exam, you will get this 2-star badge that you will become a like Microsoft certified Azure data engineer. And then that will be like add on always whenever you are putting a certification in your resume, that will be like a highlighting point or add on in your resume to showcase different your resume from others. So here, this is the exam on that you can focus on TP203. And before that, like as I earlier also mentioned that, okay, if you are completely new to Azure, then go with Azure AZ900. Then after that, plan for the DP203. So AZ900 for the fundamental. Then after that, go with the DP203. Although it's optional, but it is like a good to have where you will be clear with the fundamental, then you are going with the associate level. Because DP203 is the associate level 2-star exam and AZ900 is fundamental 1-star level of exam. Okay. Now these are the list of exams. So here we are going to be majorly focused on this DP203 data engineering associate level of exam. Now here if you see some different kind of questions that generally will ask in your interview. Like what is data lake? Okay, you should be understand the difference between the blob storage and the data lake. in what scenario you are going to use data lake, and in what scenario you are going to use blob storage. What is serving layer in the data lake? Okay, so these are some common questions. Generally, it is going to be asked in your interview. What is ACL? Okay, ACL stand for access control list that you have in the data lake. What are the different authentication methods you have in the storage? What is file share? What is Azure table storage? What is Azure queues storage? Okay, and again, difference between your blob storage and the data lake. Difference between your data lake and data warehouse. In what scenario you are going to use a data lake? In what scenario you are going to use a data warehouse? What are the different type of triggers, okay, related to ADF they are going to ask. So what are the different type of scheduling methods or triggers options you have in ADF? What is ADF? Azure Data Factory. What are the key component of ADF you have? Like you have a link service, data set, activity, pipeline, triggers, integration, and time. What is incremental data load? What is delta load? Okay, and what are the difference between the incremental load and delta load? And after that, how many ways you can load data into the with the help of ADF? What is data flow? What is data flow debug? Okay, how you can configure Git with the data factory? What is publish feature you have in the ADF? What is Databricks? Okay, there another service which we have talked about. How Databricks works in Node. Okay, what is the syntax for changing the language in Databricks? What is cluster? How many type of clusters we have in Databricks? What are the differences in these? Okay, what is notebook? What is data frame? How you can mount your data lake with Databricks? Okay, so see, like all the questions are revolving around the Azure services that we have already talked about. So when you will go inside deep dive in these services, then you are going to see, okay, how these questions will arise on that. Okay, how to schedule your Databricks notebook, how you can import libraries in the Databricks notebook. And apart from that, you have some questions on the Synapse side also, that is your data warehouse. Like what is the difference between the dedicated pool, serverless pool? What is Synapse data warehouse? What is the difference between the data warehouse and databases? What is the difference between Synapse and SQL? And what is different type of distributions you have? Okay, so I'm just giving some examples of the questions. And what is partitioning? What is materialized view? And what is indexing and Synapse? Okay, and what is nodes in Synapse? What is the difference between the dedicated and serverless pool? What is Spark pool? Okay. And what is the difference between the Synapse pipeline and Data Factory pipeline? So these type of question they might ask on the Synapse side also. And again, some scenario based question as well. Like if you are working as a data engineer, what type of query optimization you have worked on? Okay. What type of issues you have faced that you have fixed? As a data engineer, if you have designed some pipelines in development environment, now you are moving to the higher environment, how you are going to be take care. As a data engineer, you need to make the your service as a highly redundant, how you are going to be make sure. So these type of some scenario based question also they are going to be asked. That will be helpful if you will go. Okay, so I'm not going saying that okay go directly with the advanced. Start with the very basic like your cloud fundamental, like that one which we have talked about in our last seminar. Then start with your data engineer question. Okay, talk about different services which we have discussed, like data lake, different Azure storage services, data factory, Databricks, Synapse, Azure analysis services, and your Databricks runtimes and your SQL. So these type of services first you can focus, and after that you can work on the different hands-on side, and then you will get some more idea for preparation. These are some preparation resources reference link also you have. So the first is learning path that is provided from Azure from Microsoft side. So this is the first learning path that is from provided from Microsoft side for Azure data engineering. Okay, so I just want to show you on this. Yeah. So this is Azure for data engineering. This is a official learning path that has been designed from Microsoft side. They have mentioned all the modules over here. Okay, so within this also you have three modules. Okay, and after that you can see once you complete this, and then you have different modules also available as per the data engineering side, which is designed from the Microsoft side. And then here when you go, okay, so at the end, what are the things related to your DP 203 exam as well as a data engineer perspective? Okay, in this modules, okay, this is a freely available. In this module you can go, okay, and then you can go through and complete this module. Then the next thing we have is your DP 203 exam. So if you are preparing for this exam, you can see this is your exam DP 203 data engineering on Microsoft Azure. Here you can see, okay, you can schedule for the exam. Okay, this is the option where you are going to schedule for the exam and you can see everything. And apart from that, in the below also you have a two-way to prepare. Okay, online free and another is instructor lead. So in the online free also they are providing you some study material to learn for your exam. So here you can see the first one is Azure for data engineer, then storage services. Okay, then data integration with your data factory, and then your Synapse. Okay, these services which we have talked about. And then after that, there are a couple of different modules also that you have, like you have a Synapse side, then we have a Databricks side. Okay, see, and then again you have a data lake storage side, and then you have some streaming services like a stream analytics and event hub. These are some services also. So this is about Azure related services on that you can focus, and then the free modules also available that you can go through, and then you can plan for the exam and schedule for that. And in this exam, if you see in the DP 203 exam, what type of questions will come? Okay, how you can prepare. So on that also, this is the study guide which we have. Okay, so in this one you can see these are the different study guide which is provided from Microsoft side, like how you can what is the benefit of using, how you can earn a certificate. Okay, everything, all the details related to your certificate, it's mentioned. Certification renewal, how you can do your Microsoft learning profile, passing score. So for this DP 203 you are passing score is 70%, and total marks will be 1000. So out of 1000 you need to secure 700 or greater than marks, and after that you are going to be passed for this exam. So the passing criteria will be 70%. Okay, and once you clear this exam, then after that you will receive Microsoft badge. So here you can see practice test also, if you want to give, you can give from here. Okay, they have the link available. Apart from that, what are the skills are going to be measured? So in this year DP 203 exam, 40 to 45% question will come on the data storage side. Then 25 to 30% question will come on the data processing side. Then 10 to 15% question will come on the data security side. And then after that, your data storage and data processing side on the monitoring and optimization solution side, you will get 10 to 15% of question in your DP 203 exam. And as per that, you can plan. Okay, there are differentiate also, like in the data storage side, they are going to be focused on the data lake side, different type of storage side. Okay, analytic query side. Okay, and as well as your data pooling side, distribution side. Then same for the partitioning side, serving layer side. Okay, physical data storage side. Then after that, the next is on the data processing side. They, like here we are going to start with the Spark, Synapse, and data factory side. And then after that, we are going to be start with your next data security side. So for that, what are the different security flexibilities and options we have available in different services, Azure related to data. So on that we can focus on, and then at the end, monitoring services that we have available. These are the links also you have available, and some study resources also provided from Microsoft side. So on that you can focus on, okay, and you can start your preparation for this data engineering side. I will paste this links also in the chat. Okay, and yeah, I am open for the questions. If you guys have any question, you guys can ask, and I can give you the. Okay. Yeah, so I'm open for the question. If you guys have any question, you guys can ask. Yeah, so Surag will help you on that. Surag will also share over the email. Okay, so any question from anyone? What we have talked about, discussed today for the Azure data engineering role responsibility, preparation, how you can go with Microsoft certification or as your interview about the roles, what you are going to be focused. Okay. Okay. So I will pass on the relative links and the study material which I shown you during the class to Surag, so you guys can take it from him, and then after that he will pass it on over the email. Okay. So any other question? Okay. So so for the beginning, if you are looking for entering into the Azure domain, you can start with the Azure side. Like as I in the last call which we have discussed, you can start with Azure 900 like cloud side you can enter, and then after that you can plan. Okay, in which domain you are looking for. You want to go into Azure developer, Azure data engineering, Azure security side, Azure admin side. But you should start with the AZ 900, and at beginning level you will get a chance. Okay, if you have a like AZ 900 certified and you have a cloud fundamental knowledge. So like initially, like there are so many openings for the Azure initially also for the initial phase. So you will get started with that, and after that you can switch. Okay, in which domain you want to go. It is advisable to get the data fundamental exam first. So, like if you are going with AZ 900, then that will be also clear. And then if you are going with the DP 900, then DP 203, yes, you can go with that. There is no issue in that. But yeah, if you are planning for DP 203, then in that case, DP 900 data fundamental will give you an add-on where it will be helpful for you to understand the services. But how to use the services that you get to know in the DP 203. You will get the fundamental knowledge of these services under your DP 900. In AZ 900, you might not get the more familiarity, but yeah, in that case, if you are coming from a data background, okay, and you are planning on the zoo, you can go with AZ 900 or DP 900, any of them, and you can plan for them. So yes, you can plan for DP 900 data fundamental as well. PowerPoint, I will share one PDF file of this one with Surag, so you can take from him. Yeah, so actually I pasted the last slide in the chat as well. So see, like all the links, these three links I shared also in the chat, so you can take it from the chat also. I pasted all the three links. Okay. Yes, there is cost if you are planning for the certification, but there are some voucher also available in the market. Okay, so you can go for the free certification also. Like Microsoft is conducting some training days as well, so you can participate in Microsoft training day program or event. After that, once you attend the trainings or something, that is a free training, so you will get a voucher to write for your exam certification. Else, if you have a voucher, yes, you can go with the free certification. If you don't have, then you need to pay for that. And as I shown you over here, yes, there is cost available. Okay, so yeah, yes. So there is a cost available. Okay. Okay, so you are from major incident background. In that case, like you are related to, I'm not coming from the incident background majorly. So in that case, you are interested in which domain you need to analyze. Like I shown you the different domain that you can plan, and accordingly you can choose, okay, in which domain you want to go. You want to go within a developer, admin side, security side, okay, in data engineering side or database side, data scientist side. Okay, so as per that you can plan different certification role, and then you can choose, okay, this one is more relevant. And as a like as when you are starting your career, you can go with any of them. Okay, these fundamental one is your starting one star band, so it will give you like idea to getting started on Azure. Then after that you can choose, okay, which one you are comfortable on, and you can plan. No, your exam certification cost is not free. You need to pay for that. Like it is going to be changed the amount as I shown you again. So here you can see this is a cost. But it might happen that, okay, if you are like you are joining some Microsoft training day program, okay, so training day program is free. So if you are registering for some Microsoft training day program, so you might get some certification, and you can apply, sorry, you might get some voucher, and you can apply these voucher at the time of your scheduling your exam, so you will get some discount. Okay, but yes, there is a cost for certification. Okay, so currently you are in the admin part, so you can go with AZ104. Okay, if you are in the admin part, you can go with this 104. That is more on the admin side, Microsoft certified Azure admin side. If you're in the admin side, you can go with Microsoft certified Azure admin part AZ104, and then you can go with the architectural domain. Okay, so that will be more relevant. Okay, so I'll just type it AZ104. You can just have a look on this exam. Okay, if you are looking for, and then with the help of that, you can see. So there is no voucher. Basically, you will see when you are going to be schedule your exam. Okay, on that time, when you are going to pay at that time itself, if you are eligible for some voucher, so in that case, it will be visible to you over there. When you are scheduling your exam, and at that time you will see, okay, if you are eligible for something, you will get to know on that same page. Okay, but if you are attending, okay, so see, like whenever we are registering for exam, or we are attending any webinar or something, so in that case, you are going to use your email ID. Okay, your email ID you are going to use. So for like scheduling your exam, also you are using your Gmail ID, for example, and for attending your exam, some trainings also you are using your Gmail ID. So on your Gmail ID itself, then you will receive like your Gmail ID is eligible for the exam. So on that Gmail ID basis, you are going to receive some discount. So you need to check the eligibility at the time of scheduling the exam. So when you are going to be scheduled, okay, and after that when you log in, it is going to be asked for your email ID to be entered. So if you are eligible, okay, and then you will receive the voucher or discount. When we are attending means what you want. I didn't get this question. Sohil, you need to schedule the exam. Okay, so it's up to you which date. Okay, you need to plan when you are scheduling the exam. At that time, you are going to specify that, okay, on which date and which time. So when you are scheduling the exam, you need to define the date and time. Okay, and at which place you want to give the exam. So it's up to you. As per your convenient, you need to choose the time and place and date. Okay, so once you schedule, you need to define this all these details. You are going to provide this detail. Okay. So any other question? No? Yeah, I'm not sure who has raised the hand. I'm not able to see your name. How much is the cost? So it depends from which country you are. So generally it is going to be vary. This is $165. Okay. So this is $165. So it is going to be vary as per your location. So you can choose your location and you can see the cost. So for DP203 I'm talking about, it's $165. Yeah, so you can select for the Bangladesh and as per that you can choose. Okay, if you are selecting for the Bangladesh, it will show you. Sorry. Yeah. So see, this much. So as per your country, the cost is going to be changed. So when you're registering at that time also you need to provide your detail like PIN code, detail, address and everything. As per that, the total bill will be generated. So the cost will be changed as per your location. Okay, so I guess now I've answered most of the question. So if there is no question, so I guess we are good for the day. So thank you everyone for joining the session today and be part of the session. I hope you like the session and then you got some more idea how you can start with the DP203 or how you can start your journey on the data engineering side. So thank you everyone for joining the session and all the best. So if you guys have any doubt, any question, you guys can reach out to me or Satyava. So yeah, I will hand over to Surag.
Thank you all for joining, and thank you, Diksha, for the session. It was wonderful, and I hope you guys all learned and have an idea how to go forward. And yeah, thank you all for joining.